Okay, here we are back inside MatrixGold once again. Thanks for tuning in. Hope the videos are helping your designing process. If they are, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and please leave a comment. It really help my algorithm out. Need that algorithm help. And if you'd like to buy some cup of coffee, buy a cup of coffee for me down around here. Below there's a super thanks button. You can tap on that and hit super thanks and donate a cup of coffee to the cause. And I love my coffee. Today, we're going to do a request from one of the YouTube channel, but I put a link to the texturing or the bitmap or whatever it is, I can't remember, is on the Facebook group in the file, so you can download that and use that to follow along if you'd like. What we're going to do today is make a hammer texture, except I'm going to do it a little crazy way. There's all kind of ways to do it. I'm not going to go into all the details on the other ways. I'm sure you can find those out or you've already done them before. But this one's going to be a little bit different. We're going to try and get everything in NURBS or in polysurface so we can just use Boolean Union to join everything together. So we need an item. So let's go ahead and we'll just grab a ring rail. What I'll do is I'll go ahead and add a link or a timestamp to jump ahead to just the texturing if you don't want to watch all this part. So we're going to go ahead and grab this. First thing we want to do is we do not want the texture to be split right here in at the top. We would rather have it down here at the bottom so we can use all one surface here. So what we're going to do is go ahead and select one, go back to our curves menu, and we're going to change that seam and drag it down to the bottom. And same thing here, right click, grab that seam, hold down shift, and drop it right there at the bottom. So now the seam is at the bottom, and we'll change that back to our ring rail. Okay. Now we need a ring profile, right? So we'll just grab one of these, and we'll select our item there, and we'll just change this one to something a little different, this here, and we will snap it to our outside ring rail there, all right? And we'll just leave that one the way it is. And I'll hold down shift and add one here at the top, right? But this one at the top, I'm going to make a little bit larger. And again, it's not really about designing the ring itself. It's more about doing the texture. So, but I'm going to change this up a little bit. If I turn on points right now, right here would be points. That was another question in one of the YouTube comments. It's how to turn on points. That would be right here. You can turn them on and off right here. But those are too many points for me. So what I'm going to do is take it. I'm going to type in at the command line REBUILD rebuild, and I'll just change it to 11 points, degree 3, and hit enter. It's going to change my profile. I'm not really worried about that. It's more about the texture, right? So now I'll turn those points back on, but now what I can do is grab these 2 points here. I can drag them down and I can move them apart so I get a little bit different shape there. And I can take these two if I want to and drag them up and do all kind of other manipulations if you want. But we'll just take this here, okay? And we'll just go to our surface sweep 2, 1, 2, and then our profiles. And we'll click, and we have a half, so we'll go to closed and hit enter and give it some shading. So we have a little indentation here, and then it goes down to being flat on the sides and on the bottom, right? Okay, so now we need to get some ISO curves, extract some ISO curves so we can do our cutout and where we want it, right? So what I'll do is first I'm going to go ahead and take all this yellow, those profiles, and then just turn them to gray and hide them. And I'm going to turn off my ring rail so none of that gets in the way. I'll go to my curves, go to extract ISO curve, and we'll drag that over to wherever we want it. We'll just say right there. I'll select that curve and go to my transform, go to mirror in the X, not the Y. And then it places it on the other side there, right? Now I'm going to right click to bring back the extract ISO curve. I'm going to select my surface and right click, and it'll do me mirror, which I don't want, right? So I need to go back to my curves, extract ISO curve, except this time I don't want to go in that direction. I want to take it and move it 180 so it's in this direction going across, and we'll just say right there is fine. And we'll take that and we will select that curve and go to our transform and mirror it over to our other side, so we have one on both sides, right? Now I'll go ahead, change this color here, turn off my green, turn off my gray, and we have these curves out here like this, right? Let's bring it back so we can see everything really nice. Now I can select these two curves, go to split here with this, and take these two curves and delete them. We don't need them, right? Now I want to take this one, hold down shift, grab that one, and split with these two right here, and then right click, right? So I can get rid of these little pieces right here because we do not need them. Now I want to select everything because it's all individually pieced out there, and join it together, and then I just want to go ahead and check it, close curve. Okay, bring back our item here, give it some shading. Now we need to get a little indentation here because this is where we're going to flow the item, right? Well, we need to split it, right? So what we're going to do is take it, split it with that yellow, right click, and we have this surface here. Now, here's a little tidbit here. If we take this and we go to auto base, it gives us the auto base of the entire item, right? That's not what we want. We just want this little surface right here, right? So let's back out, hit escape. If we select the surface, go to our surface tab, scroll all the way down to the end, go to edit tools, and we can shrink trimmed surface. Now shrink trimmed surface and shrink trimmed surface to edge are just a little bit different, and I'm not going to go into details on that. Maybe I'll make another video. If you want to see more about those two and the differences, let me know in the comments below. I'm just going to do shrink trimmed surface and click on that, right? Now when I select that surface, go to my transform and do an auto base. It's much smaller because it's just representing that surface there, right? And I'll accept that. Now I'll take that and I'll center it up. Just me, it's what I like to do. I'm going to take that and go ahead and change it to my ground plane, keep everything organized, or try. So I have my ground plane and I have the original surface that it's representing, right? Now I want to get a texture on it. You could go to your texture tools and do a texture through there, texture 3D. I'm going to do it a little different because we're going to do some crazy stuff, and plus you'll learn a little bit extra here. So what I'm going to do is go to, you can also do this through your render, right? If you want to add the texture after the item's already polished up and everything, which is usually the way hammered finishes are done. But for adding it on solid and everything, we'll just go ahead and show that. Talk to your jeweler about how he wants it. Does he want to add it with a dapping tool and a hammer on his own, or does he want it added on with the ring and casting and everything? Okay. So that it's good for them to have some say in that. So there's pros and cons to both, and there's more work some ways and more less work other ways, and it really is I think a craftsman's opinion. So anyway, let's get going. So we have this. I'm going to use the Rhino options tab right here. Click on that. And then I am going to select my surface, which will give these commands. I have another video that explains how to get all these up there. I think it's in the texturing or rendering or something like that, adding materials. If you know, I hate to say it, that tennis shoe video I have out there is really not all that great as far as making a tennis shoe, because I've never really done them before too much. But it does go into details as far as a lot of rendering and texturing and stuff like that you can do. So they are kind of worth watching, even though you're not really making a piece of jewelry. Anyway, so I want to go to my displacement right here. I'm going to select that. Okay. And like I said, I posted it on the Facebook group page, so that texture will be up there. You can download to follow along. So what we're going to do is we're going to go in and find that texture that I downloaded from the Facebook group. So I'll just go ahead and click, we'll import it, and it's in my desktop, and it's right here, Hammer Finish. So here's the texture, and I'm going to turn it on. And this is the texture it originally gives you with the, I think, the default settings. I think those are default. So that's really kind of not really what I'm looking for, right? The first thing you want to do maybe is go at your fairing here, is just click that on. It kind of smooths it out just a little bit. And you also want to change this from medium to very high. And now we're starting to get something that looks like a hammered finish. Now this would be very close, but maybe we want to modify it in all different kinds of ways or whatever. So the way to do that is we can go into and grab this pencil for editing, right? So we'll edit it, and we'll scroll down here. And if you leave it on repeat and you move it around, it's going to take both of them in the same, right? They're locked together, right? So if you don't want them together, you can adjust them individually, just unlock them, right? And then you can move it and it'll start to change around a little bit. So you can get, I mean, all different kinds of hammer type finishes out there, right? So just play around with those. You can also move this around to adjust the angles, so it changes it, right? So there's oh my gosh, there's so much. I can't go through everything just real quickly, right? So there's lots you can do there. Anyway, let's go ahead and take that. Maybe it's a little too deep. I don't want it so deep. You can just change your black and white points here. Let's take this down to maybe a 0.7. So it drops it down. You know, you can just keep changing that around and get different depths, right? So we'll just say, yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what I want. Rarely happens. And we'll just go ahead and turn that off at this point, right? But if you look at it, I'm selecting this. What's going on? It's giving me a planar surface there, right? Well, we need to extract that displacement from that item. So what we need to do is type in the command line, extract render mesh. So we're going to go ahead and hit enter. And now I have a mesh, right? So I'm going to take that and we'll change it to this color, and I'll just hide it real quick. Okay. And now we're back to this. We want to get rid of this. There's nothing really we can do with it, but we need that, get rid of it, right? So we're just going to go back to the properties. We're going to just go here and turn it off. And we'll bring back that mesh now. So, and I'll give it some shading here so you can kind of take a look at, there you go. So there's that mesh, right? All right, let's turn off our ground plane for a second here. So we just have the mesh out there. And we want to put that up here, right? But it's just a little sliver. It's a planar mesh, right? So maybe not exactly what we want. And I said, like in the original, that I wanted to do it with NURBS and poly surfaces. So here's how we can do that. So I'm going to go in to our surface tools and the drape tool right here. I'm going to click on that. Now down here we have a lot of settings. I think the default is 5, so let's go ahead and put that back to the 5. And then it says just drag a window over the area. So we're just going to drag a window over here and then release, and it will lay a mesh out there. So if I go in and I get rid of that original one, you can see that the mesh is right here, but maybe it's a little too, I don't know. There's two things. It's too smooth, maybe. I don't know if that's what you're going for, but we can make it sharper, right? Like this one, a little bit more, right? And then also, it's not real close to our edge there, right? So let's go back. Let's take that, delete it. And let's go back to our top here. Let's pick on that drape again, except this time let's take it and turn it to a 1 and hit enter, because you can only do one higher, 1 or higher, right? So we have it now, and it says drag that box. So let's drag that box around it and let go. And now you can see that it's much, much closer. And if I get rid of this mesh here, it resembles much better to the original mesh that I had, right? But we have something ungodly huge out there, but that's okay. So let's go ahead and take that. So let's go back to shaded mode here, and let's just turn this off. Well, let's take this mesh, and let's change it to here, and we'll hide it. Okay, we just want to work with this. All right, so we have it out there, and it's, I don't know, it looks like it's only 0.2, 0.3, but you can, you can actually, well, we will probably want to keep everything together, so we can take all that and, move it up however thick you want it or whatever. I'm just going to go back. Okay, and then I'm going to turn off that, the original mesh. Okay. All right, so we have that out here, right? All right, so we want to get it so we can actually, that's way too crazy to flow up there, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to go to curves. I'm going to right click on my line. I'm going to hit F4 and I'm going to change it to yellow and hold down shift and just put it out there, right? Now I'm just going to take that one and bump it down just a little. You don't have to, but it'll help for another reason, so that when you Boolean, they're not sharing a planar surface, right? So it'll Boolean for you. If you just leave it right there at the F4 across that plane, you could have some Boolean issues because it's sharing a common planar, a common surface, right? So we just drop it down now. And then what we're going to do is go in and grab that line, and we'll just slap it back to there, and then we'll take this and we will split it with this and hit enter and get rid of that and get rid of that, and there's our little surface there. And if you click on it and type what, it is a NURB surface, so it'll flow up there for us, right? And all we have to do is click it and type in CAP, and now it is a closed poly surface because of the cap, right? So there you go. Now we have a closed poly surface, and if I join all this together, it'll be a closed poly surface, so we can do a Boolean difference or Boolean Union, right? So now let's go back to our transform. Let's go to Smart Flow, make sure our original base is out there, select on it, select our destination surface, go to object and select our poly surface there. Hold on a second. Let me back up. Oh, okay, it's doing its deal. Never mind. Okay, I backed out of it. So we'll do, and as you can see, it's not right on our curve, right? So, I mean, if you want it right on, I'm sure you probably already know how. You can just take it, go to scale. You can do a 1D. You can go from this edge here to this edge. Hold down shift to this edge and just kind of bump it out, right? So you can line it up. It's a little off on this side, so let's okay, and then we'll take this and take this surface and go to move, and we'll just do it from here to there. Okay, so we have a little edge there. Okay, so go back to scale, 1D, that edge, and just get it, right click, bring it back here, there. Now it's pretty much close right on, right? So let's there we go. Okay, I mean, you can adjust it. You can also adjust it after the fact too, right? So let's go back and do that flow. So we want to select our ground plane, select that surface there, object, our mesh there. That doesn't look like my mesh. Oh, okay, yeah, it is. All right, and then hit enter. Now my computer's going to be running a little slow because I have a lot of things running in the background, so I apologize for that. Just trying to do too many things, but not too bad as far as quickness, right? And we have it out there. Now there's a lot of other things you can do as far as you can put a bounding box on it and drag these edges down so that it kind of goes in more. You can do all kinds of things actually. You can just grab it here and just kind of bump it down a little bit to wherever you want it and then wait for the update. And again, it's going to take a little longer probably than your computer because like I said, there's a lot of things running in the background right now. So there you go. But that's how you make a hammer finish. You could play around with it even more, depending on how you lay it out or whatever. Maybe this isn't the best things to lay it out. We got that thing there, which I don't like. So let's go ahead and drag it back up so that's not happening. And I guess I'll just go ahead and show the bounding box just to... There we go. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, and you could put a bounding box on it and adjust it as well. Let's see, we'll go here, cage edit, this here, capture. Bounding box, world, yes, enter, 4 points, yes, yes, and then we have those, right? So what you can do is you can select all these 4 over here, select these 4 over here, and then maybe just, well, let's get it so we can see it. Oh, I think I moved everything down. It's updating. Yeah. We can drag them down a little and wait for the update. And again, it's just taking a little bit longer. And as you can see, it's getting more and more down inside our item there. And you could also do that to the edges here if you want to get it. It just really depends on what you're flowing on. This is, like I said, there, it's kind of like disappearing now. So let's go back. So anyway, that's kind of how you can adjust it that way too. Let me get out of this. Okay. But we have a closed poly surface, and if I take all green and join it together and select my green, we have a closed poly surface. So the reason why I dropped it down a little bit below my ground plane is because now it's not sharing that same surface, so that we should be able to go to solids and do a Boolean Union here, enter, and then just wait for that Boolean Union. And there we go. And we can take one of them. That's this one. Let's go ahead and hide it. Oh, wrong one. Let's take that, turn it to this. Okay. And turn this off. So there's your item. And with the hammered finish on it. So hopefully that helps, and if it does, again, please leave a like, subscribe, and a comment. And let's just take that and switch it to, well, let's turn on green. Let's take all green. We'll turn it to purple. Turn off purple. Select our white there. Select this. Turn it to green. And there you go. But now when you render it, the whole item will render out whatever, the high polish, whatever. If you wanted this to be a frosty like it normally is, you can use bead blasting or something like that, I guess. But there you go. That's kind of how you make a hammered finish, all using all NURBS and poly surfaces and Boolean it together for one item. So thanks for watching, and good designing.